At every railway station, there are countless people rushing to reach somewhere. But sometimes, the most beautiful journeys don't require a train at all. This is the story of a man who had no destination, no money, and no hope, until one conversation changed his life forever. There was a beggar who lived outside a crowded city station. Each day, he sat quietly, watching people come and go, stretching out his hand to strangers, hoping for a coin, a leftover snack, maybe just a glance. Some days were kind, most were cold. He had no name to the world, no address, just rags, hunger, and the sound of arriving trains to keep him company. This was his routine, his reality, his prison. Until that day, one morning, as the beggar begged from passing passengers, he noticed a tall man walking with purpose, clean-shaven, wearing a crisp blue suit. He looked successful, powerful, the beggar thought. He looks rich, maybe he'll give me something big. So he approached the man and asked politely, "Sir, please, a little help." The man stopped. He didn't frown or turn away. He looked the beggar straight in the eye and asked, "Tell me, what do you give people in return?" The beggar was confused. He stammered, "Me? I don't give anything. I'm a beggar, sir." The man smiled softly. "Then why do you expect to receive?" "I'm a businessman. I only trade value for value. When you have something to give, I'll have something for you in return." And just like that, the man boarded his train and disappeared. The beggar sat still for hours. That one sentence echoed in his mind. When you have something to give. He couldn't sleep that night. He tossed and turned on the cold station floor. What can I give? I'm a beggar. I have nothing. But deep down, something had awakened. The next morning, something caught his eye. Near the station, in a corner no one noticed, wildflowers had bloomed. Purple, white, yellow. He slowly walked up, picked a few gently, and held them like treasure. Maybe, he thought, this is something I can give. That day, he did what he always did, asked for alms. But this time, when someone gave him a coin, he reached into his pocket and offered a flower. The woman paused, surprised, then smiled. "Thank you." This made my day. And just like that, his first trade was complete. He had nothing, but now he had something to give. Every morning, he began his day by picking fresh flowers. He'd tie them into little bunches using old string and a piece of cloth. He'd go from coach to coach as before, but now when someone gave him money, he'd smile and hand them flowers. People began to remember him, the flower man, the gentle soul who gave beauty in return. Some even looked for him. Others came just to see what flower he would offer today. His earnings doubled. His eyes, once dull, now glowed with purpose. He was no longer just a beggar. He was becoming something else. One bright morning, as he handed a flower to a little boy, he saw him again, the tall man in the blue suit. Heart racing, he rushed to him. "Sir, today I have something to give you." The man smiled, reached into his pocket, and handed over some money. The beggar carefully unwrapped the fresh flowers and offered them with both hands. The man chuckled. "Ah, you've become a trader, a real one." And with that, he turned and boarded his train again. But this time, something was different. The beggar didn't feel small anymore. He felt seen, respected, alive. That night, he looked at the sky and whispered, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman. I may have started with flowers, but I've found the seed of something bigger." The next week, he took his savings and bought more flowers, roses, marigolds, jasmine. He asked a local vendor if he could sell beside him. At first, the vendor laughed, but when he saw how many people smiled at this man's humble stall, he offered him a small corner of his cart. Day by day, the flower man earned more, saved more, dreamed more. 6 months later, at the same station, two well-dressed men bumped into each other. One smiled and asked, "Do you remember me?" The other looked puzzled. "I don't think we've met." The first man said, "You met me twice. Once when I had nothing but a begging bowl, and again when I gave you flowers in return." The second man's eyes widened. "You were that beggar, yes, but today I run a chain of flower stalls. I employ others like me, and it all started with what you told me that day." They shook hands not as strangers but equals, businessmen, dreamers, believers. This isn't just a story about flowers. It's not just about money or clothes or titles. It's about mindset. It's about giving before asking. It's about finding your worth when the world tells you you have none. The beggar didn't change his fate by begging louder. He changed it by offering something of value. Remember this: when you change how you see yourself, the world will change how it sees you. You don't need riches to be rich. You just need to give what you have. Success isn't a gift, it's a trade. You give effort, purpose, value, and life pays you back. So today, ask yourself, what can you give to the world before you expect anything in return? Because deep down, you're not a beggar, you're a builder, a giver, a future success story waiting to happen. Think big, act small, give more, and watch your life transform.